Here we go. Here we go. Three, two, one. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 287 of the KBMOD podcast. It's July 30th, and we are back to a more intimate format of myself and our good pal, Brandon, aka Volition. It's just us two this week, but we promise this cast is going to be sexy as hell. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be funny. It's going to be the shit. How's it going, Brandon?
Going great, KD. What year are we in right now?
We are in 2017.
2017. Wow.
Did
I almost
leave that
forgot.
out of the date?
Yeah, I almost forgot. So it could have been July 30th,
Okay.
1989, for all I know.
That's true. Yeah, we are coming through on very old school communication. Blue Yetis have actually been out since ancient times.
Yeah.
That's what cavemen used.
I must say that was a good intro though. That's like a
Thank you.
pretty minor error. Other than that, I gotta say, pretty smooth. Especially for being gone
Thank
for a
you.
couple weeks now.
Yeah, that's right. I've been out of it. The first week, what was my great excuse? I think, was I sick or?
I don't
No,
remember.
I was. Did I go? Hold on. I'm gonna have to look up these DMs.
I
Oh,
don't remember.
thanks, Slack. Have to upgrade to another paid plan to view those messages. But,
Ooh. Well, let's focus
I'm
on
pretty-
let's focus on last week, because last week you were gone
Yes.
for a particular reason that I think you remember.
I remember most of it, not certain portions. But last week, I didn't turn 21 last week. I turned 21 on July 19th, but I had my birthday party, which lasted a good couple of days. There's the third day, but it was kind of, cooled down.
Is the party
But,
still
yeah.
going?
Party is not still ongoing. It went on for a while, but it's just those 3 days, and then it was like, all right, everybody get the fuck out. But no, it was really fun. A fuck ton over, a lot more people than I was expecting. This house, parents were gracious enough to let us, have our ways with it, I guess. But there were about 30-35 people in here. It's
Oh,
not
wow.
a small house. It's fairly large, but yeah, there was quite a lot of dancing. I don't normally dance, but with enough drink, I've been persuaded.
Yeah.
Hold on, a lot of good music came on. I'm trying. What's the name of that? It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's it's not unusual. Once that came on, the
Do the
speaker.
Carlton dance?
Oh, absolutely. I nailed that shit. I've been practicing in the mirror.
Nice.
No. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Had some good drinks.
What was your drink of choice on your 21st birthday?
Well, on the day of, I went out and here's the thing. I have very close to zero knowledge of alcoholic beverages. And so I'm in Meyer and I think, okay, what sounds good? Well, I like whiskey. I like to think I like whiskey.
Mhm.
And what are the two main things I drink all the time? Either water flavored like black cherry,
Okay.
either black. And so I see Jim Beam's Red Stag Black Cherry Whiskey.
Okay.
And I think, well, look at this. The stars have aligned. Black cherry whiskey. It's the drink for me. And that kicked my ass. That drink destroyed me. I definitely did not taste the black cherry at all. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. It was good quality. My brother, we're twins, so he was also there. He ended up.
Oh. What's going on here? KD.
What happened?
Oh, sorry. The app
What?
is acting up.
What happened?
Sorry, continue.
Okay.
So you
Anyways.
had your Red Stag, okay, and your brother. What was your
Yes,
brother
I had Red
drinking?
Stag. He bought a couple drinks. He got the cinnamon fireball whiskey, and then he got the rum shada and mixed them together and called it cinnamon toast crunch.
Oh, that
And that
sounds
was-
horrible.
No, it was actually really good.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
very
man.
tasty.
That does not sound pleasant. I'm surprised that was any
Really?
good.
I mean, I'll be honest. For someone like me who really doesn't stomach a lot of alcoholic, whatever, it just tasted like alcoholic cinnamon toast crunch.
Okay.
But
All right.
anyways,
So were you drinking this straight, or did you like were you mixing this with Coke or something?
uh, it was mainly I was taking shots. I was taking a lot. I was taking a lot of shots, and just and mainly had someone as if a miracle from God brought Mike's Hard Black Cherry Lemonade.
Okay.
So even more black cherry in my life, and apparently
Wow.
that's called a little bitch for choosing that beverage because that's really, really soft stuff. But listen, it was delicious, and well, what things really got. This is the point in the night when I stopped remembering things. We all sit down and we turn on Mario Kart 8, the go-to party game for most occasions,
Mm-hmm.
and we're all playing, 4 people, and we were like, you know what? How about we make this a little more interesting? It's like 4 of us playing, and the 2 of us that come in last place both have to take a shot of Hennessy. We're like,
Okay.
okay, let's do this. And it was for me, it was loss after loss after loss after millisecond loss, and I did not puke. I take great pride in the
Really?
fact that I did not puke at my
That's
21st birthday
impressive.
party.
That is very
Yes.
impressive.
Now, a friend of mine did puke in the kitchen, and I was very unhappy about that. But we're not getting into that. No, but I did not
I
puke.
mean, you would rather they puke in the kitchen as opposed to other places in your house, though.
That's true. That's true. Oh my God. And here's the thing. APL talks about how much of an old man I am. It really showed because I was getting pissed. Like people were like spilling drinks. And I know that's gonna happen at a 21st birthday party. But that's a new carpet, dude. You gotta understand. I couldn't believe they were treating it like this. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
And then, listen to this shit. Now, one of the best things about this party is that it was blessed with not one but 2 trips to Denny's. That we
Wow.
took.
2 trips? Was
Yes.
it like a beginning trip and an ending trip?
It was the morning of the second day. We're all very hungry, and we all just decided, like, it was like 15 of us. We all just go to Denny's,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was the day after that. That morning, we all went to Denny's also.
Wow, nice.
No,
Nice.
no middle of the night ventures, but
Okay.
we all go. And one of my good friends, yeah, one of my good friends who's there. I'm not going to say his name, but he had been kind of out in he's been in Florida for the past 6 months, so I hadn't seen him. And apparently he'd been out in the wilderness or something. And this is a guy that loves Fire Emblem. He loves Final Fantasy 14. And I'm thinking, wow, I didn't expect him to be, away from society. And so we all get in, we're on the Denny's. We're all waiting to be seated. And we're all like, we're missing somebody. And we're missing him. We go outside, and this gentleman had been we asked what he did when he was down in Florida, and he was working as an instructor for climbing, like for rock climbing or climbing like radio towers, or like climbing like satellite kind of deals too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure of the specifics, but climbing. And we go outside, and this dude is scaling the Denny's. He's on top of
was this the picture you posted?
Yes, that was him. He positions himself like between the 2 pillars, like goes up from there, grabs onto the bars, and in that picture there's that little sort of like that little house, I guess you'd call it, that little roofed area.
Mm-hmm.
His head was, I wish I got a picture of it, but his head was poking out of the little hole because he was all the way up there. Like he had climbed all the way up there. He like brought his climbing gear to the Denny's. I'm thinking like, what are you doing, dude? This is not how you function. You don't just climb a Denny's. I mean,
no,
it's not
the
like
goodness is inside
anybody.
the building, not on the roof.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he smelled some fries that were thrown out and he just wanted to adventure to try and find them, but no, he just I just thought it was funny. He's just climbing the Denny's.
Wow.
And he climbed it a second time on our way out. It was I mean, what are we gonna stop him? Are we gonna go after him?
Yeah, exactly. What do you even say to someone doing that?
Like, hey man, you shouldn't be oh, you're on the roof. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. That's cool.
Like if you're scaling the roof at Denny's, you've already made up your mind. Like no, you're not going to convince him not to do it.
Yeah, he's made that commitment, And and no birthday party would be complete without some drama. Here we go. You ready for this?
Okay.
Good friend of mine from high school. A lot of us all went to high school together. My good friend, we'll call him Bobby for the sake of the story. That's not his actual name. Okay. So Bobby, we're going into the Denny's, and I was with my brother, of course. We're eating food. He goes in, sits down, and I'm like, Bobby, what are you getting, man? He's like, I don't really have any money on me. I'm just gonna be chilling. I'm not gonna order anything. And when the waitress comes around, Bobby orders food. And I'm thinking, that's strange. Bobby just told me. Well, actually, no, he didn't tell me. I was hearing the story back from my brother. He told my brother that he did not have any money with him, and he ordered. And he gets the food, and so we just assume, I guess somebody said, they would take care of it for him. But right at the end, when everyone's getting up to leave, and we all have our checks, all separate checks, dude walks up to my brother and goes, "Hey, man, I'm sorry, man," and hands him the check.
That's not a good move.
Yeah, definitely not a good move. Now, my brother, he was understandably upset. He was very upset. He didn't cause anything. It kind of, he's a great upstanding guy. He kept it to himself. He didn't want to cause a scene, so he, paid for it. But I think he chose to let that information kind of fester a little bit within our group. But yeah, that was a very shady move. And the lesson to be learned here is don't be a scumbag and order food you can't pay for.
So is that guy now silently ostracized from the group?
I mean, my brother is insistent on not inviting him to the next party, but the thing for me is like, I feel like there might be more to the story. There's got to be more to it, and I've known this guy for years. He wouldn't pull a move like this, but I still love the guy. But
definitely sounds like you need to do some detective work, though.
Yeah, I'll need to pull some Danganronpa, get everyone's everyone's account for it. But yeah, other than that, a lot of fun times, a lot of Mario Kart, a lot of Smash Brothers, and a lot of Guilty Gear, surprisingly. I thought this weeb garbage fighting game that I love, I thought nobody get into it, but a lot of people. We had Guilty Gear and Tekken 7, and that kept things going for a while. Like, loser would take a shot, kind of deals like that.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a very successful party.
Nice. So getting your friends into fighting games.
My friends are very into fighting games. They're very into, like, specifically Smash Bros. I have a friend who actually he does commentary for was it Push Block Gaming, which is like a kind of local scene for Indiana, and he commentates every week for their Sunday tournaments.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're alive. Glad you didn't puke.
Yes.
Yeah. All pretty good things. Sounds like you made it out pretty much unscathed.
Well, except for one thing, and I contemplated bringing this up, but I want to bring this up so our listeners can come back to us and tell me if there's an issue. Okay. There's been a change to my body. I told you about this, Brandon, but there's been a change to my body after that weekend, and I've noticed, and I don't know what it is. It's for some reason my balls have been in constant droop, and I'm not talking just droop. They're drooping further down than ever before, like uncomfortably low. Like, it just seems like a lot of skin was attached there. I'm thinking there wasn't that much skin before. This alcohol grows skin on the balls. I need to keep my voice down. There, parents next to me. But listen, could excess alcohol cause that? And everyone knows, all the men know what I'm talking about. Like, occasionally, the balls, when they're not, in active mode, they'll kind of shrink, to be quite frank. They have not shrunk. They've been constant. So I'll need to get in touch with my my doctor.
Yeah, I don't know that the podcast audience is necessarily qualified to provide medical advice on whatever it is you're experiencing.
I thought our viewer base was certified physicians.
I mean, some of them might be. But I don't know. I mean, I have not heard of that before. But also, I mean, I can't say that it's not because of all the alcohol.
Yeah, right. It's I need to get in touch just to know for sure that wasn't the issue.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have signaled to your body that you're now officially an adult, and so I imagine it's actually, you know what? It's the fight or flight response. So you're basically telling your body that you can either die now, or you can deal with it. And this, I think it's just your body saying, you know what? All right, let's take this on. And there are going to be some changes, but you're inviting those changes upon yourself. Your body's just reacting.
Oh man.
So,
Wow.
that's at least that's my medical opinion. But it's been a while since I practiced professionally, so maybe get a second opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're on the money right there. But yeah, I'll have to get multiple outlooks on it.
Well,
Anyways,
that's I mean, wow, that maybe the most exciting part of your story there, saved for the end.
only for this podcast would I share the plight I'm going through.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an intimate cast, so that's some pretty intimate sharing. We're all family here.
That's as intimate as it gets. Talking about this. All right, yeah.
Well,
yeah,
glad to have you back. You're now officially an adult. And,
yes.
And so now I can't. I think once you hit 21, I can't really make fun of you for being 13 anymore.
Yeah, I guess you're kind of right. Yeah, that joke kind of. I mean, Katie's in 18. I've tried, but that 18 is not going anywhere.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. That 18 is a relic of a more innocent time.
Yes, definitely. That 18 came through when I was 13.
That's true.
So now it's a very confusing timeline.
Well, actually, I think technically you're supposed to change the number each year now that you get older. So now your Katie's in 21. But then, so next year you're going to need to make sure you update all your profiles to be Katie's in 22. And I mean, you kind of signed up for this when you put the 18 on the
Twitch's end. Yeah, with Twitch's current policy, I could just update the number every year.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you want people to know how old you are right when you come into a Twitch chat.
Right. Well, there you go. Shit, that's a great idea. But yeah, yes, I am fully ripe, and come Extra Life, I'm gonna be able to go out with all the boys, hit the bars, and my balls will droop even further. No, I was kidding.
Boy, that is quite a tease for Extra Life guests. Well, cool. I don't want to steal your thunder here, but I haven't been doing all that much. I've been actually I went up to Lake Tahoe this weekend with Hillary and some friends of hers from work, and we did it was nice. Like Lake Tahoe is pretty nice in the summer and the winter. It's just like generally a pretty nice place to go. But we did a hike yesterday that was pretty rough. Like I don't really hike as a general rule, but she wanted to go and everyone else is going, so I went. And man, it was just like 80. It was only like 80 degrees, but when the elevation's that high, I feel like 80 degrees feels a lot warmer than it is because you're a little bit closer to the sun. The air is a little bit thinner, and and so we hiked for like several hours. But you know what? I got a nice little panoramic photo. Put the tweet out there. And I tell you what, when you're on top of the mountain, cell service, fantastic. Had a nice strong LTE connection when we were at the top. So, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was a beautiful picture.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was great, but you got to practically kill yourself to get up there. And and the funny thing is, like I mean, I'm sure people that hike all the time, this is probably just normal for them. But like when you're going uphill, it was kind of rocky, like there were pebbles and things, and so it's not that bad. It's not like rock climbing, but you kind of just have to take deliberate steps, and it's a good leg workout, but it's not necessarily that difficult aside from the fact that you're going uphill. Well, actually, like on the way down was almost more treacherous because it's easy to go down, but when you hit a few pebbles, like in your, unless you have nice hiking boots or something. When you hit a little patch of pebbles, it's really easy to slip. And so Hillary actually slipped a few times while she was going down the hill, and she was getting upset because she was having trouble. But it's like hiking going down, it feels like it should be easy, but it's just it's like that split second when you get confidence that you're like, yeah, I can just walk this like normal speed, and then all of a sudden you slip and fall backward. So That
Damn.
was yeah, it's like the going up is more physical stress, going down is more mental stress as you try to make these like really cautious steps. So,
Yeah, definitely. You gotta be more careful with your footing for sure.
yeah. So anyway, that was the first time I've hiked in a while. And it was like fun for 30 minutes and then not as fun for 4 hours, but but it was a good weekend overall. We had a good time.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds
So,
fun. Yeah,
yeah.
I haven't left the house in a few months now.
Well,
It's
I
not
mean, of
be
course, yeah. Just you and your alcohol now.
yeah, just me and my alcohol. I can dream.
Well,
Uh
I don't know. Have you eaten anything interesting? We gotta talk about what we've been
ooh.
eating.
Oh, I feel like there's a good answer
I mean,
somewhere in
you
there.
did go to Denny's twice, so you have an
That's
answer.
true. Yes, Denny's. Oh man, I got the first time, definitely got the country fried steak, which which I've come to like the realization. I feel like they put way too much gravy on that steak.
No
Like
such thing.
I
No
always
such thing, actually.
no such thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I just have to like prepare to have, okay, I'm just gonna have just gravy with some of this. Or maybe I'll, use my fries for some of the gravy. And I had the most picky, widest order. It was like I like the French fries as a side with a Gouda on the side, and I'd like the potatoes with the Gouda sprinkled on it. And all these little specifics, which I was surprised they obliged because usually Denny's doesn't really go let you custom make your kind of deal. In my experience, anyways. But
Well, I
yeah, I got the
mean,
country fried
they'll do
steak.
it for you, but they're not necessarily gonna love you after that.
I did surprisingly get charged for the extra Gouda. I was like,
Of
what
course
the
you did.
fuck?
Yeah, it's not on the house.
Excellent. Yeah. And then next time I played it safe and got the bourbon chicken skillet. That
Okay.
was
Yeah, got it.
always delicious.
Yeah. Some things never change even as you get older.
Yeah. Yeah. Go for that. I really need to venture out more because a friend of mine had gotten one of the salads and it looked delicious. I want to try the bacon Gouda hamburger next. I feel like that might be good.
Okay. Well, yeah,
But yeah.
maybe alternate a little bit here and there, because you're getting older. You're probably going to need a salad every once in a while.
Right, right, for sure. Go on. I'll be on that 55 plus menu
Yeah.
sooner or later.
Yeah.
Get
Actually,
ready.
I mean, you joke, but that's think about like the worst age is like 54 because you don't qualify for anything yet, but you're still basically already there. And man, you hit 55, it's like a massive like uphill right at 55 because you qualify for all
Right,
the senior menus.
for sure. Yeah. God, would they just not serve it to you if you're 54? Like, I wonder if they're that petty.
I
Like,
don't
I
know.
understand,
I don't
like,
know. I feel like it's kind of it feels like it's similar to the kids menu, right? It's like if you're going to order off the kids
uh-huh.
menu, even if you're a little too old for it, like what's the upside for the waitress or waiter to say like, "Hey, you're too old for that." Cuz
Yeah,
then they're just not getting tipped, right?
for sure. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's nothing going on with the pricing, like making it
Yeah.
better for, so like if I
It's not like
walked
the
in,
waiter makes more money for double checking that, you qualify for the menu. So maybe
yeah,
you're
for
right.
sure.
Maybe you're right. Maybe 54 you kind of just 54 it's a little dangerous, right? You're kind of riding the edge and you just got to hope they don't ID you.
At that point, I would love to see someone's reaction if they order the senior salad and then the waitress like cards them. Like, can I see your ID? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
Yeah, I
that
don't
would be
know.
hilarious.
I wonder. I mean, I'm guessing they don't ID, but that would be awesome if they did. Like IDing you to see if you qualify for the senior discount.
Oh my god, that would be
That's
hilarious.
actually like the most probably one of the rudest things you could do.
I spend a lot of time looking up like I'll be ashamed to say like angry customer, like my YouTube search history is like angry customer fight, angry outraged customer gets owned, or something like that. And I would just love to see someone at Denny's just flip out after they get carded for their senior sandwich or something. That's just a dream of mine.
I tell you what, we went to a place in Indiana when I was there for a wedding
Ooh.
recently. And I'm telling you this because I know you're, I don't think they have any in Indianapolis, but you're close. So we went to this diner, and it was really good. They had like massive food, just massive food, right? Like omelet the size of like a football.
Wow.
And so I'm looking at this and I'm like, it's a decent deal for what it is, right? Like even not on the senior menu, but the senior menu, it's like the omelet was like it was like $5 or $6. It was something like ludicrously low, and I was like, how is a senior gonna eat all this food?
Yeah.
So, and two, like I guess basically I could go in there if I'm a senior, I go in there and I order it and I just get like half of it to go. And I just probably eat that the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's a lot of food to last.
So I was thinking, like, if when I'm older, like that's probably why people that age find a diner or some restaurant and they just go there every day and get the same thing. Because it's like if I can get a meal that basically lasts me all day for like $10, $10 a day, I'll take that. So I don't have to cook or anything. I was thinking about that. These are the kinds of things I think about when I go to a diner. I think about the upsides of being qualified for the senior menu.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, maximizing, getting the most for your money, really.
Yeah, it really is. That's the one upside of getting older. But we still both have a long way to go to get there.
Yes, we do. How old are you again, Brandon?
I'm actually my birthday's actually next week. I'm 28 right now, but next week there will be a different answer.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'm getting close to 30, at which point I'm told it's all over. But
yeah,
I still got at least a year. Got at least a year before I die.
It's all over. Yeah, I mean we've seen APL suffer enough going on 30 on this cast.
Yeah. It's a descent into madness from what I can tell. So
soon you'll have a squatty potty.
Yeah. It's it's like if you want to stay alive, you have to basically sign up for all sorts of different interests that you've never had before. You start eating prunes. You eat things that are good for you. It's terrible.
God,
terrible.
Sounds awful. Just kill me now.
Yeah. Well, no, but you've got a little while. You've got what, 9? You got 9 years. So I mean, enjoy those 9 years because that's really the golden age between 21 when you're able to drink legally in the U.S. 21 and 30. I think at least from what I hear, that's basically where it's at, right? Before then, it's all just build up. After that, you're on the way down. So you're in prime time.
You've confronted me with a lot to think about. I need to take action in my life, but
got to maximize those youthful years.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe not spend the whole day on Twitch anime.
Well, you know what? We can remain ageless through the power of video games. Have you been playing anything recently?
Yes, I have. Let me see. I've been playing good old Guilty Gear. Mentioned that earlier. Ooh, good game. And Pyre. That game came out.
Oh, tell me about Pyre.
Yes. I haven't finished it yet. So I'm taking my time.
Okay.
And for another reason. But Pyre is a very different game than what I was expecting. Supergiant basically made a visual novel. I was not expecting this.
Okay.
Yeah. There is, coming off of Bastion and Transistor, where it's a single voice guiding you through the entire game, you have quite a large cast of characters all talking through some really, like some of the best written, dialogue in a visual novel I've played. It does some really smart things where when you're reading, you can, if they reference a certain location or a group of people, you can kind of mouse over it and a little paragraph will pop up explaining it to you. Or when your character is introduced, you can click the part where it says like, oh, look at him. You can change to be like, oh, look at her, or look at them. And so you can like change your gender pronoun. And it does a lot of cool stuff with like the visual novel format and really good writing. It's funny at times. You really like those characters, but the main gameplay, which I feel like from what I've played, there really isn't enough of. It's the main premise is a bunch of exiles participating in this competition to be unexiled, and you've got that top-down, isometric view from the past 2 games, and you're basically it's sort of in a way like a sport where you try to get a orb into the other teams. It's like a 3v3, but only one person versus one person, where you switch between the 3 players on your side and try to score goals, basically get the ball into their goal. And you can use various attacks. You can control your aura. You can like juke around. It's the kind of thing where when you get to play it, like in the story, when you get to play it, you don't play it for long enough at a time to kind of get a feel for it. Like I found early on getting goals, I didn't really have to worry about fighting the other team players or the enemy players too much. I would just kind of juke and jump around and get into the goal, and it would be over in just a couple minutes. And I mean, in that regard, I'm kind of disappointed. I really wanted more action, because I know Supergiant can do action very well. But as far as story, visuals, sounds, Supergiant, exactly what you're getting. They have not let me down in any department of that. It's visually, some of their best work, right up there with Bastion and Transistor. And yeah, definitely a lot of good choices to make in it. I'm assuming there's an NG plus. One big oversight, which I think I don't agree with, is there's the campaign, and then you also have a versus mode where it's only local co-op, where you can play against someone else using other characters. So you can't really fight other people online in the game, which I'm kind of disappointed about that. But hopefully it's competitive enough to where possibly at LAN we could get something going with Pyre, but not sure. But from what I've played, I've really, really enjoyed it. Not sure. A lot of people say what am I saying? A lot of news outlets are saying it's like Supergiant's best work, but
do you think that? Like, how do you think it compares to, if you had to sort of compare it to Bastion and Transistor? Do you like it more? Do you think it's? I mean, I realize they're very different games, but
yeah,
if you had to try and rank them, where does Pyre rank?
It's tough, because as far as just like specifically ranking them, I really can't say like for Pyre until I finish it. For now, it's my least favorite of the 3.
Okay,
but that's purely because of what kind of game it is.
Right.
Like
and Bastion and Transistor set a very, very high bar. So like, being the worst of those 3 does not mean it's a bad game.
Yeah, for sure. It's by no means a bad game. It's a fantastic game. But if you're looking for a pure action game like Bastion and Transistor, then you're not going to find that in Pyre. But you are going to get an excellent story, an amazing, incredibly thought out universe, beautiful, yada yada yada. Supergiant. You're going to get Supergiant quality of a game. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed. I'm very happy with what I got, but it's tough for me to play for long periods of time, because it follows a formula in the game it goes by. I won't say too much more on it for spoilers, but yeah, it's but yeah, I'm very happy with it.
I'm glad you're liking it. We'll have to check back in when you finish it, because I'm trying to decide if I should get it now or if I should just wait until it goes on a Steam sale, because it's like, I feel like the Supergiant games, because they're so single player focused, like if you can wait to play them and get them on sale, they're such a good value.
Yeah, definitely. Like you see Transistor for like, what was it, $3 last sale?
Exactly. Like Bastion Transistor at like sub $5 is just an absolute no brainer. And so, but I'm also not opposed to paying $20 for it, but I can also wait to play it. Like I have enough to play right now that I don't need to play it. So I'm curious if like, I want to get your take on whether this is a game I have to play like right now, or if I should just wait until it goes on sale.
Well, I mean, I'll say if you picked it up right now and you played it, you would be very, very happy with your purchase. I'm definitely happy with my purchase. But I do want to say one more thing. I made a crucial mistake. Someone at the birthday party, they got me as a present. I was expecting a present, but they got me like a $20 like PlayStation gift card.
Mm-hmm.
And so I figured, you know what? I've got this gift card. Why not just buy it on PS4? Huge mistake. It's not like Bastion and Transistor where, you're going to play either game with a controller. As far as like the action stuff goes, it's, fine with a controller, but the visual novel stuff, you control a cursor in the game with the left and right joysticks.
Ugh.
And it's so gross.
Oh, that sounds awful.
I wish there was a refund model like on Steam for the PlayStation Store.
But well, I mean, you deserve that though, because you should have known.
I should have known. I should have done my research. I thought, I've got this gift card, I can save some money. But no. I mean, I can live with it. But yeah, that was if you're debating on which system to purchase it on and you're thinking it's going to be like the past two where it's not really a huge difference, definitely get it on PC this time.
It's almost like you could say that for basically any game that is on PC and other platforms.
Tim said the exact same thing to me. Batman Arkham Knight.
I mean, look, if you're gonna try and point to one example out of the hundreds of examples.
Yeah, I'm just saying bad PC ports in general are enough to, if you've got a console that the game like just objectively runs and performs better on. Like for example, the new
true.
Deus Ex.
Maybe for some people, but for you, you should have known better.
What?
I expect more out of you.
Okay, we're going that route, aren't we? Well, and all right. Other than that, I've been playing more Doom. Haven't finished that yet.
Oh, nice.
But that game is fucking incredible.
Doom is so good. You missed I think we talked about it last week, but all of Doom's paid DLC is free now.
Yes, I saw that.
You get to experience Doom and then the DLC too. I don't know if you bought the DLC already.
Well, no, I didn't buy it yet, but I was.
No, you don't have to.
I opened Steam and I was hit with a random 34 gigabyte update for Doom, and there we go.
Yeah,
happy.
Yeah, there's your free content.
Yeah, there we go. Other than that, I talked about Danganronpa already. Still going through that. The game is great.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Yeah, Guilty Gear. I've been getting into that. That game is a really great fighting game. Yeah, I think that's about it. Okay. I definitely dabbled in a lot of stuff in the past couple of weeks, but
that's pretty good.
Dedicated.
Pretty good. Sounds like you've had a pretty balanced gaming diet. I'm impressed.
Yes, yeah, it's very well rounded. I've been looking at my gaming pyramid. And,
you got to make sure you get some of the base, some of the top.
And Overwatch is definitely the sweets category because like I play it for like 2 or 3 games and then think, oh, this isn't good for me. This is too toxic. This is unhealthy. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, that
is pretty good. That's a good analogy. It works. It's like you get in a couple games of Overwatch, and then it's like, oh, do you want a third bowl of ice cream? It's like, nah, I'm okay. Yeah. I'm okay.
And then something like WoW is in like bread.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
WoW
is like milk and cheese.
Yeah. So good single player games are like poultry and fish.
Yeah. You kind of lean out with a good single player game. Yeah, this is a good analogy. If there's not, I bet someone on Reddit has already made an image that's like the gaming pyramid. But if they haven't, you should hop on that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I would love to see a full pyramid, like a food pyramid for different kinds of games. That'd be good.
Well, I have not been. I don't know that I've been quite as balanced as you, but I've been playing. I've still been playing Diablo, and you mentioned that you don't even own Diablo, which is crazy talk to me. But I tell you what, there's no better time to get into it if you've never played it, because we've still got quite a few people playing it this season. So I played some of it like on Friday and a little bit earlier in the week too, just basically grinding for gear. And I got my Necromancer, pretty much all of the best in slot items for this particular build that I was going for. But there's still a lot of improvements I could make because some of my gear is not that good. It's just it's like best in slot pieces, but not necessarily best in slot stats and all of that. So so it's fun to kind of grind that out. And
I'm gonna stop you right there. There are different seasons in Diablo.
Yeah. So like what happens is Diablo has this idea of seasons where, in order to play in the season, you have to start a new character. And the upside of starting the new character is you can get seasonal rewards and play with others in that season. So everyone sort of starts at the same point instead of everyone playing the characters that they've had forever and ever, right? Those characters probably have, basically the game would get stale, right? Because like you probably have people that have found like all the best gear and not much changes. But with season to season, you get new characters to experience. And you level quite a bit faster. Like you find gear pretty quickly, so it's not like it's a huge grind, but it keeps things fresh. And normally they do it when they kind of make big content changes. So like the Necromancer came out, and then a couple weeks later was a new season. So it's just a way to keep things fun and interesting. And I normally jump back in, kind of for a couple weeks each season and level up a new character. So you could hop in with us, but actually what you should do first is you should probably play through the Diablo story, because the story is actually it's like pretty good. It's not incredible, but I think it's worth playing through once. And so like play through Diablo and Reaper of Souls, and then you can come play with us, and we'll power level you and all of that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I definitely want to jump in. I see they have like a try for free kind of deal, so I'll probably hop on that.
Yeah. It's pretty fun. That's pretty much all I've been playing, just playing my Necromancer on Diablo. And I kind of, just for people that are interested in the Necromancer, it's an interesting class. It's pretty powerful. I don't know that I love the play style as much as some of the other classes I've played, but it is fun. It's just, I'm not sure it's my favorite class. But that's not saying a whole lot. Some people really, really like it, and some of that may just have to do with my gear and the build that I've tried. But I think it's a pretty good addition, and I'm kind of surprised that Diablo doesn't do this more, like launching a new class and charging $15 for it, because I think they probably make a bunch of money if they did. But anyway, that's it's been fun. I'll probably play Diablo for a couple more weeks, and then I'm sure it'll probably get stale like it always does until the next season. Mm-hmm. But that's pretty much all I've been playing, except for PUBG. That's about it.
PUBG. Yeah. I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, PUBG has been in the news a whole lot. We don't really have any PUBG news to talk about this week, but it's like PUBG is just constantly in the news, and I'm still playing it. It's still a lot of fun, but there hasn't been any like major changes recently. They are releasing first person only servers pretty soon. So that'll be fun.
I'm excited for those.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's move on to what's been going on in KBMOD. And the first thing we should talk about is we are getting pretty close now to the Extra Life LAN. It's going to be August 18th through 20th. So that is only a few short weeks away now. Not very far away. 3 weeks away. We're going to be doing charity stream all weekend long, and we're going to have some prizes. We're going to, basically do a big group stream from Pittsburgh. It should be a really great time. So put it on your calendar if you haven't already. August 18th through the 20th. That's the Extra Life LAN. We'll probably, I imagine we will probably do a podcast live from the LAN, similar to what we've done in the past. So keep an eye out for that. That'll probably be Saturday night, if I had to guess. So probably a podcast on Saturday instead of Sunday. And we'll be doing all sorts of games and fun stuff. If you've never tuned into the Extra Life LAN, you gotta watch it. It's always a really good time every year. So that's coming up August 18th through 20th. And then the only thing we had going on the site this week was a first look at Sundered. KD, why don't can you tell us a little bit about this first look?
Yeah, I have not watched the video, but Sundered looks like a very stylish Metroidvania kind of game, like Norse mythology inspired. Our good friend Andrew, let's take a look at it. And so yeah, he's got a good it's not a review, it's just a about 5-minute long first look at the game, kind of see how it holds up, if it's worth your time. So yeah, definitely check that out.
Yeah, I know you love your Metroidvanias.
Yeah, they're good. I hear that Hollow Knight is somewhat of a modern classic. So yeah, I'll have to jump onto that. I'm also
Exciting.
panicking right now because I have not gotten my plane ticket yet, and
Oh,
I'm
that's
looking
not a
at
that's not a
something
very
else.
adult thing to do.
That is
Normally,
not a
adults
very good
adults
thing to
make
do.
plans for things they intend to do.
Yes. Oh goodness. All right, I'm just gonna have to ignore this tab in my browser, and oof. Okay. All right. It'll be okay. All right.
And
So,
apparently, Julian is reminding us he did a video on Hollow Knight that's up on the site. I apologize if
oh,
I didn't see that. I'm not sure if it's not on the main page. Maybe well, anyway, we also had a video on Hollow Knight that Julian did, which I think technically oh, it did come out last week. My bad, Julian.
okay.
But check that out too. That's also a Metroidvania, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Hollow
Man,
Knight is a Metroidvania.
Metroidvania week here at KBMOD.
Yeah, that genre is really
So
spiking.
check out the Hollow Knight video from Julian and the Sundered video from Andrew, and get your Metroidvania fix this week.
Definitely do. Yeah.
So let's hop into the news. Things that are not Metroidvania games, but some people play like a game. Microsoft Paint. Can you believe in the year 2017 that Microsoft Paint was in the news?
And it's what possible topic could be with, such a beloved piece of software. If you're, trying to make your own Pokemon sprites or draw your own shitty sprites for Game Maker, and you can't afford any better software, jump into MS Paint. It's really, I don't know if it's really stood the test of time, but it's definitely been around for a while. So what's it doing in the news this week, Brandon?
Well, it got in the news because Microsoft basically said they were going to kill it. Now they didn't use those exact words, but like that's what people took from this announcement. They basically said they were going to kind of like remove it from being built into Windows releases in the future. And it was not they said it was going to be not in active development was the phrase they used. And so I guess predictably in hindsight, after that, everyone comes out of the woodwork, because like I think Paint is just one of those things that it's like a comfy pillow, it's like a blanket. You just know it's always going to be there. You know how to use it because it's been the same since you were a child.
Yeah,
and
it's not the best pillow, but it's there.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not the softest. It's not the best thing, but it's there. You know it's always going to be there for you. And so there was
I love that analogy.
There was like a mild uproar from people who were upset that Paint was going away. I mean, look, I'm reading. This is what happened. This is the internet. All right.
You're the messenger, yes.
So I guess Microsoft had to like clarify their messaging that they're basically taking Paint out from being automatically installed, because I think they've been working on Paint 3D, which is like, I guess, a newer, more obviously more functional version of Paint that probably, if I had to guess, is better in every way. Right, Paint is, well, I don't know. Paint is pretty simple, so maybe it's not. It is what it is. But apparently, you're still gonna be able to get Paint in the Windows Store. Like, I think it's still gonna be free, but it's just gonna be a download instead of being built into Windows. So it's not really that big of a deal. But I can sort of understand why people would be upset, because I don't know, because people just love nostalgia. Like, everyone loves nostalgia, and you don't want this thing that to go away. But apparently, Microsoft realized that there's this. I guess everyone loves Paint. That's what we've learned. Everyone loves Paint. Paint 3D is, I guess, gonna have to build its own following. But I mean, I use Paint a lot, actually, for like basic stuff, because I don't have Photoshop on on all my computers, so I can kind of understand. But like Paint 3D, I don't think I've used that. is it even out yet? I don't know.
I have not heard of Paint 3D actually.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so there's a new Paint, and it's basically I think they're just retiring the old Paint app because Paint 3D probably does everything that the old Paint app does. But anyway, people just like to get upset about things, and this was the thing to get upset about this week. So,
they could come out and announce the removal of. Nothing comes to mind. I'm thinking like something. It's just something beloved to people, like regardless of how much.
It's like they use. I think did they? I think they got rid of like the games, didn't they? Like Minesweeper and Hearts and stuff.
Oh,
like they sort
really?
of got rid of. Well, I don't know. Maybe they didn't.
Now, if they got rid of Space Pinball, then that is an actual outrage.
That's what I mean. You see, it's like everyone has their built-in stuff that they care about, and I guess for a lot of people that is Paint. But I mean, I guess maybe I'm being sort of facetious, but I'm not actually that surprised because Paint is that one piece of software that has actually pretty much remained the same forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the reasons people love it so much is because it's really basic, and you still remember playing with it as a kid, and it's like that piece of your childhood still lives on in your operating system today.
Right.
But it's Paint 3D is the future. We're no longer going to paint in 2D. It's all 3D from now. So
I suppose.
Got to get used to it. But
yeah,
Paint will still live on. You can still get your Paint, but it'll have to be from the Windows Store. You'll have to. I wonder what they're going to do with Windows 7. I guess if Scott stays on Windows 7, he can keep Paint forever.
Oh, do I have a story about Windows 7? Oh my God!
Oh,
yeah, I'm Windows 7 myself. Yes.
Okay.
I have stayed on Windows 7, and this past week I decided to upgrade my Elgato device from the HD60 to the HD60S. Now you're probably asking why not just get the HD60 Pro, because you have a beastly computer. It'd probably be better. It's what was available to me at the time. And if you're not familiar, the HD60S it goes through USB-C, which allows it to be lagless recording.
Mm-hmm.
And that concept was very exciting to me. Come to find out, it requires Windows 10, which I did not have. I had Windows 7. And my free upgrade trial was, the period of time was over. But fortunately, you just have to basically say, I plan on using certain software because I'm handicapped. And they're like, oh, okay. Well, now you can have Windows 10. It's a common loophole where on a certain, it's apparently, is this common knowledge? Like, do you know about this? Where if you just like say, if you use like assistive services or I forget the term, but there's a certain thing you can click on to where you can get the Windows 10 free upgrade anyways. Like there's no authentication you have to go through or anything like that.
You're saying you duped Microsoft into providing you a copy of Windows 10 by telling them you were handicapped? AD?
I simply clicked on what was given to me. I just randomly clicked and things happened on my computer.
Well,
and
okay.
But no, so I download the Windows 10 update, and I'm all excited because I'm going into this with optimism. I've used Windows 10 before. I think it looks cool, and so I'm waiting for the upgrade to go on, and it happens. I boot my PC, and it takes about 3-4 times longer than my PC normally does to boot. And I thought, that's very strange. And I definitely I turned it off and back on, not like rapidly, but I went through the process to see maybe, they were planning some updates, they were planning some changes. No, it just, for some reason, it took much longer every time to, boot into Windows 10. And, another thing. Oh, this is great. Going through the updates, the one thing about Windows 10, it became it turned my computer into a sassy bitch. Like I'm going through the initial upgrade of the changes, and it's asking me questions like, what sort of would you like Windows to track what kind of content you look at to tailor our advertisements for you? And I'm thinking, I really don't want anyone picking up my information, regardless of what it's for. So I click no, and the little text changes to the amount of advertisements won't change, but they'll be less suited for you. I'm like, oh, Well, thanks, Windows, my good friend. And another thing was like when they tried to ask me to set up Siri, I think I said no, and it said like, okay, well, you won't get our award-winning technology. I'm like, excellent, thank you,
Man.
Windows.
Yeah,
And I'm
I'm kind
continuing
of
on.
with you there. I don't love the kind of the
Oh,
conversational the kind of conversational
oh
little
yeah.
quips when you choose to disable something that
Oh, I
it tries
hate
to
it.
make you regret your decision. I'm with you
Yeah.
there.
I hate that whole like ideology behind the Windows thing. Like especially in the Xbox One, when you set it up to a Wi-Fi connection, it says it's all good. That's the message it tells you. It's like it's time to update. Like you're all good. Like it just I hate that casual talk. Just like tell me how it is. And
You
so
want
I'm
your
trying
system
out
to
games.
provide you notifications that you know it's a system. It's not a person.
Yeah, it's not my good friend Windows. It's my computer. And so I'm trying out, apparently it has, I'm trying to see what the performance is looking like. And I turn on Doom on Windows 10, and I'm getting longer load times and like bigger frame stutters on that too. And like, I just found it so puzzling that I was getting worse performance. And so I'm trying out the Elgato, the whole point of the story, and it's functioning terribly. Like, I have a good computer that like far surpasses the required specs. And what would happen is that it would randomly lose connection and it would just randomly lose signal. I plugged a headphone jack into my TV and it lost a signal. It so the way it works is like if it doesn't reach a constant 60 FPS all the time, it'll just drop frames and lag. And it was constantly lagging for me. And so I'm like, okay, I'm done. Fuck this. I'm returning it. I just want to go back to Windows 7 that I know and love, get rid of all these problems. Oh, but the problems had only just begun. I'm I eventually I go through the rollback kind of software they're doing. I'll be quick. I'm not going to spend a long time on this. And one final fuck you from Windows. It says, like, I even tweeted this. It was a message saying, if you ever feel like you miss better search results, better performance, and improvements, come back to Windows 10 anytime. I'm like, fuck off, dude. I don't want this. And I complete the rollback. And when I finally reboot my computer into Windows 7, none of my USB ports work. So my keyboard or
Nice.
mouse don't work. Nothing is working. But what I can do, it's so weird. I turn on my computer. I'm able to go into like the BIOS. I'm able to go into like safe mode. But then after I like boot in different ways, the Windows just says fuck you to all my USB ports and nothing works. I wanted to, and I wish I could tell you what I did to solve this, but through random fucking around, I did something, turned off my computer, turned it back on, they all started working again. It was like I hit repair your computer, which I could then not do because my mouse and keyboard wouldn't work. After hard resetting it, turning it back on, it worked. And I had already like scheduled that appointment for like a Microsoft technician to help me. And I just had to, where you say, call me at this number. And I got called and I was like, yeah, I actually solved the issue. I don't need you anymore.
At least that has a happy ending. But
Yeah,
that's a
happy
shame
ending.
that you had so many problems with Windows 10. I haven't heard of that, like those that severe a problem with upgrading to
Yeah,
Windows 10. But
it's so weird. Windows was so adamant about me upgrading, and then when I finally left it, it got revenge and like sabotaged my computer.
yeah,
Never seen anything like it.
man, it's got a mind of
No.
its own.
Yeah. Okay. I went on a huge tangent there. I'm done.
Well, you know what? You're not the only
Speaking of
one. You're not the only
disasters.
one frustrated with technical
Oh,
issues this
woo-hoo, that was
week.
much better than mine. Much, much better than mine.
The Pokemon Go Fest. I feel like we have not talked about Pokemon Go in a while. That's
Yeah.
it's like kind of its heyday. I feel like is sort of over, and it's like
Yeah.
in the twilight now, where it's like it's just the hardcore fans left. Like I've mostly stopped playing.
Mhm.
I might log in every now and then, but I'm definitely not. Like I just don't really open it much anymore. But it
Yeah,
still
I've
has a
heard.
following. It still has a fan base, and they had the first Pokemon Go Fest was last weekend in Chicago, and people bought the tickets like sold out really quick. People I'm sure people probably flew there. Like
Mhm.
I'm sure people made travel
Yeah.
plans and all that. And apparently, it was just a mess.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like apparently there were the technical issues. People couldn't log into the game. The phone networks were overloaded. I mean, just like I was actually trying to kind of tune into the stream every now and then, just to kind of see what was going on, what they were doing there. And every time I tuned into the stream, I just saw like the background. Like the stream was live, but I just saw the background. They weren't actually doing anything. And
Okay.
I thought that's kind of weird. And so, but I didn't think anything of it. I was doing other stuff. And then, I read all the articles later that, apparently there was like not a whole lot of content on the stream because they were having all these problems logging in. And so people were really upset. Apparently
Mm.
the CEO went on stage to talk, and people were booing him. It was just, man.
Yeah, they were like chanting, fix our game, fix our game."
Yeah, it sounds like it was brutal. So
Yeah.
that sounds like a bad situation, but I feel like, I can't help but think that all of that is pretty foreseeable. Like you've got, hundreds, if not thousands of people logging in to the game from one specific area. Like, did they not
Mhm.
work with, the cell providers? Did you not maybe talk to AT&T and Verizon and say, hey, can you guys maybe help us out here? Maybe test the infrastructure in this area, make sure that that we're not going to have problems. And maybe they did that, but I guess it wasn't enough. And so
Yeah.
they ended up, apologizing to people. They refunded the tickets. They gave everyone $100 of in-game money, which I
Whew.
guess is not like is not a small gesture, but also I think is like pretty weak considering, a ton of people traveled there specifically, or at least got hotels. I mean, like
Yeah,
getting a hotel is definitely way more than $100 for even for one night. Um, and
definitely.
so it sounds like it's a shame, and I feel like it's really a shame because Pokemon Go is probably, it's like a lot of younger kids. Not to say that it's like only for young kids, but obviously it skews to be a game that young kids enjoy. And I'm sure there are probably a lot of parents, who took their kids to this thing, and
Right. Oh my God, I can only imagine.
yeah, like
Thank
I can only imagine that turned into probably a pretty rough weekend for
Yeah,
parents having to deal with unhappy children. And
for
apparently,
sure.
I didn't know this. I didn't read this article until I was looking for this for the cast. But apparently, some attendees filed a class action lawsuit against Niantic
What? Oh
because of
my
course they
God.
did. Because
Right.
when you're an adult who is upset about their child, having a bad time at the Pokemon Go Fest,
Straight to
you
the
sue
lawsuit.
Niantic.
Yep.
Uh, so
Oh my God.
of course, they're I think filing a lawsuit because of all the issues, and they're not refunding people's travel expenses for coming to Chicago, which
Right.
I
That's gonna be tough to like justify in court, I feel.
yeah,
Like,
it probably would be, but I mean honestly, like it sounds kind of dumb, but I can't really blame people. If you've got maybe enough money for one vacation a year or something, and you decide to go to this,
mhm.
I'm not passing judgment on someone who decides to spend, their little vacation money on Pokemon Go Fest, right? If you wanted to do that, then
Mhm.
and then this happens, and you've spent all of that money, and maybe you don't have, maybe that money is a lot to you, like traveling and getting a hotel and all that. That's not peanuts to a lot of people. So I can't really
Yeah,
blame
for
them for
sure.
at least like I think I think though I agree that they may have a hard time, proving damages in court or whatever.
Mhm.
I can't
Yeah.
blame people for being really upset to the point of filing a class action suit because, the Pokemon Go company or Niantic, they've made a lot of money from this game. And when you put together an
Oh
event
yeah.
like that sort of in hindsight looks either like a money grab or looks like it would, and I don't think it was a money grab because they refunded everyone, so they didn't make any money off of it. But
Right, right.
it's a bad look, right? They've made a ton of money off the game, and like they put together this complete, you know garbage fire of an event by all accounts. Uh, it just It's a shame. It's a
Yeah,
shame for
it's
all involved.
no, yeah, in so many ways a disaster. And like I feel like this is just what Pokemon Go needed. Like this game is, we talked about it, this game's kind of, on its way out. It's definitely like this was sweeping the nation when it first came out. Like it was making news. It was huge. And what better way to, like kind of give this game that resurgence than, capitalizing on that social aspect that everybody, that was the main, appeal of the game. And for that to go as badly as it did, it really is just, I mean, it's very, very unfortunate. I'll just say that.
And it's their most hardcore fans too. It's like the people that are still really heavily invested in the game, your most hardcore players, for them to get this experience. It's just, yeah, it's really unfortunate. Yeah. So sorry to hear that, but I think for Niantic, I'm hoping they have a lot of lessons learned. About throwing an event, because it's clear that they just didn't prepare well enough for all of these contingencies that in hindsight I think should be pretty obvious. Overloaded cell circuits, like, whoa, that's never happened before. It's almost like that happens at literally every concert and football game ever.
Yeah, right. God, well, maybe next year. If even is a next year.
Well, they did. I think I saw that they did also cancel a couple of upcoming events.
No.
Basically, to say, probably just to avoid a situation like this. I'm sure if they throw events in the future, they'll probably take many more precautions. It's just a shame that this was their inaugural one that a lot of people spent money on, and and they had such a bad time. But
for sure. But yeah, and so yeah, that was a disaster. And Niantic isn't the only company dishing out mass amounts of refunds. So let me tell you a story. Myself, I am very excited for the Super Nintendo Classic coming out. I don't know what it is. I can easily play all of these games right now on my computer. Maybe it's the convenience factor. Is it the shoes? I don't expect anyone to get that reference, but yeah, I'm not sure what it is. Very excited. And then in the middle of the night, I get a notification on Twitter from a certain page that notifies when certain pre-orders are supposed to come up, that Walmart had opened up pre-orders for the Super Nintendo Classic, and people jumped on those, and in a matter of minutes, they were sold out, and people were rejoicing. They got some pre-orders in time, and one by one, Walmart told people in support emails that, oh, we're sorry, that was a mistake. It was actually not supposed to go to pre-order. And I'll need to look at this and see like what the number is. But every single pre-order that night was canceled by Walmart, which was truly tragic, because I myself have been really, really anticipating. I know it's going to be very difficult to get your hands on this system, given the demand and Nintendo, their business model, how few the systems they make. But yeah, definitely, yeah, very unfortunate for anybody who's looking out for a Super Nintendo Classic.
Yeah, I think it looks like it was just a technical error, but I definitely saw this going around like on Twitter and stuff when it first went live. People were losing their minds, and and then slowly everyone's pre-orders were getting canceled. But yeah, the demand for this is just so absurd. That like this pre-order going live and then getting canceled like made the news cycle. That's just so crazy to me.
Yeah, it's God. I mean, the where I work, we actually got a Nintendo Classic in that we're selling, and like from our valuation, it was going for 180. That's what it's at right now, like, considering how hard it is to find one. So I can only hope that the Super Nintendo Classic doesn't go to that length of
but I bet it will.
When they put in, I will have to save up. I want it.
Or maybe it just goes missing from your store. Who knows?
Well, yeah. I mean, don't want to don't want to foil my plan out here, but no, anyways.
All right. Well,
Speaking
let's go to happier topics like Demon Souls getting an improvement in emulation.
yes, speaking of successful emulation, Demon Souls, the concept of PS3 and 360 emulation, you know, a lot of people have stoned people who have tried to proclaim the viability of it. I myself have been very skeptical, but not anymore. There's a way to play Demon Souls on PC, and it's all thanks to. I'm just reading the article. No, but the this emulator for PS3, it's been out for a while, has recently received a very substantial update. And while it's being played with quite a beefy computer on an overclocked i7 6700, Demon Souls does appear to be perfectly playable with minimal frame drops on this emulator. So if you have a god tier PC and you've been, if you don't have access to a PS3 or a friend's PS3 and you want to, if you're a big Dark Souls fan, you want to see what else the studio's done, then by all means. Oh, wait. No. This is, I don't want to be debated. Please follow. Please be in accordance with emulation laws in your country. And if what the fuck ever, the emulation of Demon Souls is possible thanks to this, and it looks there's one intensive scene where throwing out a lot of fire magic, it's getting some frame drops, but nothing worse than the PS3 version. It doesn't look like super smooth 60 FPS despite not having a frame lock on the game or a frame cap, but hopefully it can reach that point in the near future.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, regardless of whether you care about Demon Souls, the game itself, I think it's cool to see that like PS3 emulation appears to be viable and that it's like actually going somewhere. I mean, even if you need a 6700, that means that yes, that's a really high-end processor today, but in a few years that will be a lot more mainstream, like that, you know, that sort of processing power. So I think like this is good news for emulating, you know, PS3 games, because in a few years, like high-end processors probably be able to run this much more smoothly, and that's exciting because I think, you know, it's like everyone's wondering, are we going to be able to emulate games, you know, from older systems that have you know, a lot higher graphical fidelity and stuff. It's pretty easy to run to emulate like NES, SNES, those types of things. But when you get to PS3 and Xbox, those are considerably more difficult. So this is good news. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, at this rate, maybe 10, 15 years, Bloodborne will be playable on PC. And yeah, I'll rejoice. Yep.
Exciting.
All right.
Let's move to this last one here, because I feel like given that you're going to be traveling here soon, KD, for the Extra Life.
Yes. Yeah.
And so this is pretty relevant to your interests. That the TSA, you know, this is just a PSA out there, that the TSA, who I'm sure anyone from the U.S. is familiar with, it's the administration that keeps us all safe when we go and travel on airplanes.
Yes.
The TSA has a new regulation where you're going to have to put game systems in their own bin. So KD, when you go through that security line, you're going to have to put, you know, your Switch in one bin, your 3DS in another, your Vita in another. So just make sure that you do that, lest you get yelled at by the TSA.
Definitely don't want to be yelled at or confined for suspicion of an explosive DS. But yeah, this is you know, I can kind of understand this. You know, I'm all for, you know, more security in an environment like this, but yeah, you'll have to
I think it's annoying. The thing that this is annoying for me is like I'll take my iPad on a plane, you know, to watch movies and stuff. And until now, you've been able to leave your iPad in your suitcase or in your backpack, and now like your iPad and game systems, they all have to be taken out separately, which is I mean, sounds like a small thing, but it's actually like kind of a pain if you travel somewhat often.
Yeah.
Luckily, it doesn't affect people with TSA pre, I don't think. So it won't bother me in particular, but I sympathize with all of the other people who don't have TSA pre, who are going to have to spend, that extra 30 seconds taking out their iPad or their game system and scanning it separately. So, just make sure you do your part to keep us safe, KD, and make sure that you follow the TSA agent's instructions.
I'll comply. I'll give in to their demands.
All right. Well,
but I will also
let's talk about the new releases. Tell me what is coming
save me
out.
from that segue. Yeah,
no segue needed. Let's get on from the TSA. The TSA does not control the new releases. So tell me what's coming out this week.
Absolutely no authority at all. So yeah, nothing too exciting this week. Well, actually, no. What I'm trying to say is, it's quality over quantity this week. This first one is the Red Stare, which is a VR-only game, which you are a secret agent in the 1950s, and you observe your neighbors to find the communist spy. And it looks like it's kind of like a mystery-solving game where you're piecing together evidence, looking at what happens in like the apartments across from your building, and all interactive in your sort of office in VR. So yeah, any sort of promising VR games, I'm down to throw in here. So yeah, Red Stare comes out July 31st. Nowhere down a price yet. And so yeah, looks promising.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And coming out August 1st is a game I've been waiting for God knows how long. I am so excited for this game. Like, genuinely. Tacoma, the new game from the creators of Gone Home, a sci-fi narrative adventure set in 2088, is finally coming out after many delays on August 1st. If you get it now, you can get it for 10% off. If you pre-order it for $17.99, it's going to be $20 when it comes out. And yeah, I am very hopeful for this game. It's definitely gotten more polished from the first gameplay we got many years ago to what I'm seeing now. So yeah, I'm very hopeful for this game. Gone Home was a very detailed, very emotional, but very short game.
Yeah, I was going to mention it's from Fulbright, who created Gone Home. So yes, they have a pedigree with this sort of thing.
Yes, definitely. So yeah, I'm hoping to be impressed, and we'll see August 1st.
Cool.
And this last one is now how do I say this? I'm trying to convince you guys that this is not some weeb garbage. It's this game called The Legend of Heroes: Trails of Cold Steel. The first game in a trilogy, which is now out. It's been out on PS3 and PS Vita. From out of nowhere, the first game is being ported to PC, which I was not expecting. After dishing out the money for a physical PS3 copy of this game, I now feel like an utter dunce because it's coming to Steam anyways. No word on a price, but I've played a little bit of this. It's got some good combat. It's from Nihon Falcom, makers of the Ys games, so it's got great music, great artwork, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. And hopefully the other two games in the trilogy, as they come out, the second game's already out, but hopefully they get adapted to Steam as well. I'm going to stop talking before my throat dies. But yeah, that's going to do it for the new releases this week. And let's jump into some viewer questions.
Pretty good selection of new releases coming out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Not too bad.
Let's we have a couple viewer questions this week. Well, one question and one continuation of our saga.
Yes.
That I will save for after this question. But we have a question from Ant Meme. What is your preferred listening material for long drives / road trips?
Let me see. I'm kind of scummy when it comes to like listening to just like music, where I'll listen to the same album over and over and over again. So if it's not a podcast, if it's not the KBMOD podcast,
nice.
then it is some Let me think. What am I listening to right now? Paramore's new album is great. But yeah, mostly just music.
So you listen to like music on repeat for a long drive?
Well, I hop on Spotify and I listen to, well, not like songs over and over again, but what I'm trying to say is like when I listen to music, I'll find a song I like and listen to it like, or its album over and over.
Okay.
So I should have just said I listen to music. That's an acceptable answer. You don't have to go into
that is an all-encompassing answer.
Yeah, music or podcasts. That would be my my go-to. I'm not a big fan of audiobooks.
Yeah, I don't listen to audiobooks, but I could see that being good for long drives. This is I picked this question because I actually driving to Lake Tahoe this weekend. It's like a 3.5-4 hour drive. So I would say when I'm by myself, or with with like one other person who's like interested in the same thing that I am, then I'll listen to podcasts. But like I don't like listening to podcasts with a whole group of people in the car. Like if you've got 4 people or something, pretty unlikely that they're all interested in the podcast, the same podcast material. So like I'll listen to podcasts when it's just me and Hillary, driving, and we both like the same thing. But if I'm in a car with other people where I'm not necessarily sure what they like, or I don't want to offend them, I'll usually listen to like electronic music, or kind of a mix. I'll listen to Monster Cat, or like one of Scott's mixes, or something where it's like a long hour or 2 hour kind of mix where it's just kind of like background music, so it doesn't take over. It doesn't take over, people wanting to talk and stuff. So that's kind of that's what I was doing this past road trip. Is just kind of like having some background, like Monster Cat or some other kind of electronic music that's not too divisive. Because like if it's up to me, I might listen to like some hard rock stuff, but not everyone's into that. So I didn't want to play something that someone really wouldn't like. But if I have it my way, I listen to podcasts. Because there's nothing passes the time like a good 2-3 hour podcast. You can get through a few of those on a road trip, and it's like there's no better time. Look out the window and listen to a podcast.
Anything but National Public Radio, I'll be down.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. I mean, I don't listen to a ton of NPR, but they have some stuff that's good. Like I could see, I don't know. I mean, they have some good long form stuff that I could see people listening to on a road trip, but it's not personally what I listen to.
Gotcha. Not our cup of tea.
Not us specifically, but also I haven't listened to a lot of it. Like I've heard good things. It's just that I already kind of have a podcast diet that I'm comfortable with. So I don't really switch it up that often,
Gotcha. Yeah, if you switch up your podcast diet like out of nowhere, you're susceptible to podcast diarrhea.
Yeah, it's definitely you don't want to upset your stomach with just a new variety of podcasts that you've never experienced together.
It's very tough to digest. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, the next question we have here is a continuation of our KBMOD screenplay based on the novel Push by Sapphire, a Choose Your Own Adventure book, which KD was gone last week, so we had to make some choices for him in his absence. But he did listen to what the choices we made, so he is caught up with exactly where we are in the saga.
I'm all caught up. And I'm a little excited too, because right now, I mean, aside from Brad, it's you and I. So I was thinking we could read our parts.
Okay.
Those to us.
Okay, we can try that. We can do a little back and forth.
Let's do it. All right, here we go. I will continue. When we last left our heroes, sorry, let me. I'm gonna mute and cough real quick.
Got to get ready for it.
Yeah, sorry about that. All right, here we go. When we last left our heroes in the novelization of the KBMOD screenplay based on the novel Push by Sapphire, a choose-your-own-adventure book, they were heroically pounding a bucket of bear claws when they adjourned to the bathroom. I should tell you that we will be branching into a rather off-the-way side quest from this point. We will return to the endgame eventually, but right now, let's drop these kids off at the pool, or, if you will, take the Browns to the Super Bowl.
And we should I think we should remind listeners that we chose to stop by the bathroom as our choice from last week.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at.
Yeah, Ying convinced us to hit it up while we were there.
Yeah, exactly. So, we decided to stop at the bathroom before going on any larger grand adventure, right? You stop at the bathroom, just because you don't know when you'll have one again. So that's true. That's where we are at this part of the saga.
I'm sure any and all bathrooms in post-apocalyptic Pennsylvania are awful, dreadful.
Yeah, we may not get another good bathroom for a while.
Yeah. All right, take us away. Papa Barndoor addresses the squad.
Papa Barndoor addresses the squad. It's time to do our business in this bathroom. Priority number 1, the family video goons who have been tailing us. We need to wipe them out.
Brad looks surprised. Wipe them out completely?
Brandon replies, of course. They've been playing a deadly game of peekaboo, and if we leave any behind, it'll come back to haunt us.
Katie interjects, sounds like it could get messy, but how will we flush them out of hiding?
Papa Barndoor smiles coyly. That's priority number 2. Brad has been sitting on a detailed log of the local family video safe house. We should drop in and pay a visit.
To the KBMOD squad. A, pinch a loaf. B, squeeze a Snickers. C, export a Pringles can into Mexico.
Are these all euphemisms for the same thing?
I think they are. I've never heard that last one used before.
I've never heard export a Pringles can into Mexico.
as a term for shitting. I have not.
I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant because I don't know how these choices differ.
If I want to take these very, very literal, I'm excited at what could happen if we chose C. That prospect is exciting.
Yeah, either it's a euphemism for us just, I guess, using the bathroom, or it's like a detailed like actual shipment, probably with paperwork and everything. We have to actually export a Pringles can to Mexico. That seems like an awful. I mean, that's quite a derailment from our current mission here.
That's true. Yeah, we're already on this side quest. I don't know if we want to go any further. But
yeah, that feels. I mean, what if the Pringles can gets caught up in customs? We're gonna have to deal with all this paperwork while we're trying to wipe out family video.
Pringles can has to be in its own bin as it goes through.
Exactly.
Airport security.
Yeah, it goes through security. They check it again. They end up sending it back to us. I don't know that we want that.
It's a waste of time. Now, pinching a loaf, which I assume, is I don't think they're talking about a loaf of bread.
I mean,
it's an unpleasant task.
I don't think so, but maybe they are.
Yeah,
maybe he's talking about actually getting a loaf of bread and putting it between your fingers and just pinching.
Now, if we're at a hipster donut shop, then that loaf of bread is going to be easily acquirable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we have access to a loaf of bread.
Yeah, they're not going to have. Yeah, they're not going to have candy like Snickers. That's a separate brand. So I say we go A, pinch a loaf. If easy access, we can simply just pinch the loaf of bread and leave the establishment.
Okay, so it's either I think that feels like a safe choice.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm down if you are.
Yeah, I think we pinch a loaf.
Well, there we go. All right, Love Muffin.
We'll see where that takes us.
To the best of your ability, please reply to us pinching the loaf. And then I will also throw that out there. If you want to save some time, if you want to save an episode of the podcast, we're definitely going to the wing joint next. So, like in an interest to like kind of move it along. I don't know what you have planned, but if we're leaving Pennsylvania for last, I say we go to the wing joint.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we did stop in the hipster coffee shop and have just an inordinate amount of bear claws. So, maybe we're down for some wings as well.
Yeah, we had to pinch the loaf after eating, then we'll probably have to hit that B-Dubs bathroom as well. And then,
just every place that we go, the next step is stop at the bathroom before we leave.
This is a great adventure. We're just having great food, attacking family video employees, and then using the bathroom.
I gotta say, so far we've avoided post meme apocalyptic Philadelphia. So this really hasn't been a bad trip thus far.
Yeah, it's been pretty pleasant, listening to some NPR in the car ride. And
well, let's. Right. I suppose we will see where the saga takes us. So thank you, Love Muffin, for continuing. Oh, Alexa got upset.
Whoa. She doesn't know that. What could have triggered that?
I don't know. It's.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness. Alexa is very intrigued by this tale.
She is. Well, you know what else would intrigue her would be an iTunes podcast review.
Oh.
But we don't have one this week. So we will continue advertising. If you'd like to be featured on the podcast in this section, you can go to iTunes, log in with your account, search for KBMOD, and give us a 5-star review. That's all we ask, 5 stars, and you might get featured on the podcast. So we've been running a little barren on reviews recently, but you know what? That's happened before, and then all of a sudden we get a deluge of reviews all at once. So you never know when it'll hit, but you just have to be ready for it. So you can contribute if you haven't reviewed us yet. Please go do so. Give us a 5-star review, leave us a little comment, and we might read it on this section of the cast. So I think that's gonna do it for episode 287. Thank you, KD, for coming out this evening.
Yes.
I don't know that we ever mentioned that. I think Scott is on vacation this week. We were so excited to bring you such a good feature-filled cast that we didn't even talk about Scott.
Other concerns are just void.
Yeah, which is good, because Scott, he really does command. He commands too much attention on this podcast, and so it's we got to put him in his place by not even mentioning him until the very end. But no, I think Scott will probably be back next week, and we will be back next week. KD, 21 years old, he's going to make every podcast from here on out until he dies.
All right, that's a tall order, but in 9 years.
But thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you, KD, and we will see you. Oh wait, hold on. Wait. Where can they find us? You're right. I nearly forgot. Where can you find us? You can find us everywhere that Pringles and Snickers are sold. You can find us at kbmod.com. That's the website. That's where we put content up. You can find that Sundered first look and that Hollow Knight video as well. You can find the build guides. We post the podcasts there. So kbmod.com is your one-stop shop for all the interesting stuff. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/kbmod, twitter.com/kbmodgaming, and we have a Discord. We have we have all sorts of interesting things that you can check out. But you can start at the website, and you can get to those places from the website. We do this podcast live each week on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/kbmod. So go over there and follow the channel if you don't already follow it. And you can follow us too. It's just 2 of us this week. I am twitter.com/volition. That's VOL1TION. And KD is at KDZen 18. That's 18, the numeral 18. But he is going to be changing his name to KDZen21 now because he's no longer 18. So you can find him at both places.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, listen, I asked you to, ask him where to find us, and you hit us with like one of the hardest, most informative segments we've had in quite a while. So
I didn't want to forget anything.
Oh yeah, you covered it all. But there is one crucial mistake.
Okay. What did I miss?
All of our good KBMOD community. On our website, there is a new place where you can all chat amongst yourselves about different topics. We have a new KBMOD forum on the website. Yeah.
That's right.
So yeah, check out the forum. Talk with some pals.
It's forum.kbmod.com, correct?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do have the forum. You can go sign up there and chat with other like-minded individuals. And
yes.
And you can get your fix everywhere. Maybe it's Twitter, maybe it's our forum, maybe it's in the Discord. Who knows? But we're in all of them. We are all over the place. We are omnipresent.
All encompassing.
Yeah, so come and get your KBMOD fix wherever you so choose. But you'll have to wait one more week to get your fix of the cast. But we will see you next week for episode 288. Farewell.
Yeah. Yatta.
That was a weak one.
I can't. My throat is in so much pain.
Try it. Just try it again. Try it again.
Oh,
just give it a little.
Yatta. Dude, I literally can't. Oh.
That's it.
There we go.